Six to two? Come on. That's we're good.
I never say we're good. I've seen worse shit out there.
9 minutes? Come on. Yeah, just doing a power play. 9 minutes.
I've seen teams collapse in the last 5 minutes of a game.
This would have to be like a super collapse. They give this up, man. They shouldn't be in the playoffs.
Yeah. I just hope they can keep playing like that.
Let's go, let's go. Here we go.
Oh, man. I'm happy with this weather.
It's good, eh? It's about time.
Get rid of this shit.
It is Monday, April 10. April 10. Let's go. All right, well, we'll wait for Santos, I guess, after he'll...
I don't think Santos is coming.
He'll show
He's
up.
crying that his belly hurts.
We lost Leon, too, just there.
Santos must have had some Bud Light or something.
Shatters you, too. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us. It's the Cast and Egg Podcast. We're playing a little BTS there.
Oh, nice.
Yo. Watching the Jets game at the same time here. 6-2.
We're doing well.
6-2, bro. We're good, bro. How about what's going on, Jason Cross, Carla Guzzi in the house? We're going to be talking commercial bait. We're going to continue that conversation that we didn't start last time. We're going to talk the real deal with the commercial bait and the buyouts and whatnot and what's going forward. And what else is there? Oh, I thought someone scored. I'll be distracted until this game is done.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said maybe we should go on at like 8:30 or something.
Fuck, we're good. 6-2, bro. 6-2. Santos pretending he's yeah, he's here in spirit.
Yeah. He should just take the camera and the shitter with him.
Well, casting deck is back on the positive with the Jets because they won last time you were there, didn't they? You and Nash?
Yeah.
Santos, you okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then they won on the weekend when I was there, and there's Santos wearing a Jets hat.
CDP's like 7-1 this year at the game.
Yeah.
So need us at the playoffs, bro. Wayne G's in the house. Like I was saying, we're going to talk commercial bait. We're going to talk lithium batteries for the boat. Touch on that. How do COs measure fish? Talking to Manitoba conservation officers, of course. How do they measure fish or whatever? Because you got these couple different rules now, and just to be sure you're on the up and up with everybody there. This is for Rob Mazer specifically.
Keeper fish.
Santos is in the house. We'd like to thank our sponsors. You can see it down over there. Ion Alpha, thank you, man. We're wrapping up our ice season here. We've got a couple more shows in April for the hard water season, and then we transition right into open water here. Let's go. It's coming. It's coming. Big Smoke Barbecue.
Looks good.
Technologies. Team Food Automotive. Thank you to all sponsors for the hard water. Stay tuned. Thanks for our upcoming sponsors for open water. If you want to be a sponsor, reach out.
Just write a check. We'll take it.
Write a check. There you go. Peeman Malik, Mars Band, first time joining live. Looking forward to a great discussion.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on the YouTube side there, brother, man. Give us a sub. Give us a sub there, Chachi. If you think I got this big, so. Did San Jose get a fresh power play? They got a fresh power play anyway.
Look, they're putting their names up there just in case you don't know who they are.
Isn't that weird? I think they're gonna try something for the playoffs here, where they're putting the player's name. It's like
I said that to my buddy. I said it looks like Sega '96.
Blades of Steel. That was my game. Remember the fighting on Blades of Steel?
So stupid. They might as well just bring back the little marker that trail behind the puck too.
Yeah, they have it in some of them in the States, man. The American market.
They got to get those Americans to watch.
I don't know if I like the names on top there, though. I don't know.
You should start doing that in the NFL and see how much those fans love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, good job. We just needed one more point there. Russ Thiessen is in the house. Andre Carriere, happy Easter, Luis. Hope everyone had a great Easter. Hey.
Yes, sir.
They did get another penalty. Rick Gergatz is here. Rick is the one who brought that up there, was talking about, not specifically how COs measure fish, but how, he was asking how
do it.
gotta measure them, yeah.
It's been a discussion for a while, though. Like, I know some people that are pretty sticky about the rules for tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
They said, well, you guys always say pinch tail, that's illegal. It just makes it easier.
I know, like, what do you mean? Like, a tournament can do whatever. Honestly, yeah, a competition can do whatever rules they want as long as they're abiding by their license. But yeah, well, we'll talk about that too. We're going to be talking about that. We got Lee Hastings, of course, one of the major live bait suppliers in the province, or is he still?
Is he? Yes.
He's in the green room right now. We're going to bring him on in a second here too. We got some news and notes to get through. We got Mike the Totally Short Fuse, Jeremy Santos. We'll see if he has to run away again here and there in the show.
Pierogi pizza, man. Never again.
Oh, I love that stuff, but yeah, it does the same to me, Jeremy.
Just go get yourself some adult diapers and stop whining.
And Leon, what's the kind of real Cuba Jet even mean, bro? What does that even mean?
Well, it used to just be Cuba Jet Saki, and then I got hacked, and then I just went. I got hacked, so I went with the kind of real, being it's really me, but anyway.
That means you kind of think you got a Cuba for a jet, but you don't.
I see, that's where it came from.
Well, maybe I'll certainly down one day, maybe.
Hey, it's me.
Yeah, hey, it's me, Leon.
Hey, it's me. Yeah.
Speaking of just to touch on more Gussie news, we keep going, but
hey, look at that guy. Yeah.
Leon was down there. How was the shout out to Gussie on the screen there? Was all good?
Yeah, it was quick, about 15 seconds, but the fans cheered for him, so that's all that counts. And
I'm sure at first they were cheering for. They just see Buff on the screen.
Yeah, they saw Buff, I think, and then exactly. But
they probably think he's coming back.
Yeah.
We could use him to
making a run for the playoffs. Yeah. Get him back.
That's pretty good to give him a shout out at the game, though. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, a couple of people came down, and then Brian's like, "Do you want me to take the picture?" I'm like, "No, you get in here too." Like, got the Smeltinator maker, and then the guy who made it famous, right? So
should have got some free Smeltinators or something, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think you could sneak in with those, knowing that place. But
Leon, you almost look like you had a Hitler mustache there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, it's a little.
No, they are in the picture.
In the picture.
Let's go back. Look at his mustache.
Oh no!
Just a shading, bro.
Look,
Asian Hitler for Christ's sake.
Wow.
Am I allowed to even say that on TV?
Yeah.
Asian Hitler.
Asian Hitler.
Holy shit! That's it. The whole show's getting muted now. I don't know.
Well, the other thing, we're sitting in the same seats. I was sitting in the same seats, Eric. So I just ran over. It's 2 sections over. Gussie, he still always seems to get those glass seats from what it looks like. So.
No, cool.
Yeah,
actually, the whole Lake of the Woods crew was there that day. So.
That's awesome, man.
I like this when I saw it there.
That's a bad day.
Yeah.
A day fishing is still better than a day at work, even though. But the comment of the day with that one is that the Starbucks waitress is going to be jealous. That is so on point, man. Holy, I visit like 3 Starbucks, man. There's like half of them have like things in their nose. And
jeez.
Anyone have that then? Like, everyone get that
That's
in your
gonna
face?
hurt, man. Holy smokes.
I got my dad one time in the ear with a red devil. Yeah.
I bet you got his knuckles in your ear.
Yeah, very close. I had to scamper up the rocks there, man, to get talking.
You didn't faint, bro.
No, man. I was like, holy shit.
That doesn't look fun at all. Jeez.
Old man's ear, man.
Well, that's like that one that's going around where your tackle box hits you in the face at 50 miles an hour.
Man,
there's that guy with all the rings. His face is pierced from chin to his hairline.
Nasty.
When we got into that accident in 2005, when we had that rollover on Trans-Canada, we rolled like 6 times. But I had lures. A tackle box was at my feet. I was in the back seat of the Vitara, and I had lures in my feet. The doctors are like plucking them out or whatever. Most of them were barbless, but I had lures all over my feet and my arm and stuff because the whole tackle box exploded or whatever. So. You guys never had that or nothing like that? Like, not a rollover, but lures. Like, you have no stories about lures. I'm showing you something.
No, man.
I stepped on one in the boat.
Was
the
that
lake in the woods there, and I couldn't pull it out for like 30 minutes until we stopped
There was a bar.
because I just sat there.
I average 2 a year.
2 a year. Oh,
Two
Not
a
in
year?
your face. In your face?
No, not in the
Mike's
face.
face already.
Arm.
Mike Wells without a mask on. You think a hook's gonna do anything to him?
Yeah.
No hooks piercing the Tolly skin, man.
Oh, cool.
No, they pierce my skin. They just take a little bit more.
Anyway, we're
What
going to
the
talk
hell?
about
I'll try to get a sliver out once in a while with a hook. Why? I don't know, because it's probably infested with something. So lucky I don't have zebra muscles growing off my shins or something. So
Yeah, you'd
probably
be
shut
good.
this game off now, eh? We should be good, eh?
what's the score?
6-2
3 minutes?
Still? Yeah, we're good. 6-2 with 2.5 left, man. Oh,
Yeah, you're good.
3.5 left.
One time I
What's
saw the
that?
kids come back from 6-3 down. They tied it 6.
What's the Nashville Calgary score?
But Joel Otto was still playing at that time.
Oh, Hurricane. So Jamie was that? Jamie McCowan.
Yeah.
Remember Hurricane? Oh.
And Vernon was in that man back in the day. Anyway, you guys,
Yeah.
we're going to talk batteries. We're going to talk this year. Deep dive into this year. Gergas was talking. He was doing a deep dive into the commercial fishing regulations, but he was asking the question there. I mean, if you're going to obey the rules, I mean, you got to figure out
Mhm.
exactly how they when I say they, the COs measured, because they're the ones enforcing the new regs. That story that I've told you many times or whatever, we're at Otter Falls, that one summer student CO tried to give me a ticket and she was measuring my fish. Of course, in area A, it's 45 centimeters or over, right?
Mhm.
You got to release, and she's measuring it with their tape measure, like a tape measure, like, and wrapping it around, like she wrapped it around the fish. Yep, this fish is over 18 inches and like 57 centimeters or 47 centimeters. And well, no, that's not how you measure it. First of all, I got the teacher and like, this is what I use. I pulled up my old Plano bump board, the extendable, whatever, but I had it and I showed, and the guy supervising her was like, yep. I didn't want to call her out in front of you there, but you did pretty good there, man. You tell her. He says,
you tell
her, because like, she was wrapping it around and she's like writing the ticket up already. What are you talking about? I said, man, this is how you.
Yeah.
So, how about you guys?
That's why I measure my catfish.
With the
No, I think like I've been stopped before, and then she was using a tape measure, and I did the same thing. I said, no, it's a bump board here. This is a real way. I said, what happens if I get this fish that's same size but it's fatter? Then I'm screwed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they should just do what Ontario does and do a full pinch. Then there's no ifs, ands, or buts, right?
Well, they should teach them how to do. If they're going to use a measuring tape, they can't wrap it around the fish. Just lay it along the bottom of it. Right?
Put a bump board in the back of the truck, and if that's what they're looking for, pull it out and use it, right?
And from what I understand, it's when they pick it up, the tail, and they let it drop. That's where it lays. That's where it is.
In the Angler's Guide, and this has been in here for years, it's not the best graphic, but this is the graphic they put on, and this is what you would go by. And basically, like in court, if you had to go to court for whatever reason, like, this is what they would go by. So this is how they do it. Total fishing is measured from the most anterior part of the head, the tip of the nose there, right to the posterior part of the tail, laid flat. So not the fork, mind you, like, oh, here, not the fork. We're talking like that, just laid flat. They don't say nothing about bump boards and stuff like that, but really, to get your most accurate measurement, obviously it should be, even if you were using a tape measure, you shouldn't be wrapping over the girth of the fish, kind of, laying it flat, just sort of under the belly, probably just straight, and get the measurement kind of thing. But in the end, try not to cut it too close. Anyway, if you're talking about harvesting fish, maybe don't cut it so close. But there is a way that they should measure, and that's how they do it. So if you have, like, someone, Mike, you talked about pinching the tail earlier. You do that in tournament just to make it way more consistent. Because you say laid flat, like, what does laid flat mean on a fish, kind of thing? Sometimes pinching it, get maximum length as much as you can, kind of thing, with the nose touching and mouth closed. That's really consistent as far as competitions go and stuff, right?
But nowadays we don't have to worry about it.
You hope not. I mean, why? I'm surprised that they don't carry around a bump board with them if they know they're checking for fishing stuff, right?
Why would we have to worry about it? Going back to what Mike said.
Hey,
Why wouldn't they have to worry about it?
Just keep small fish now. That's it.
Width of the judge ruler. Yeah, man, that's a good point there. Width of the judge ruler.
Yeah.
Yeah, but measure everything. You got
if we're gonna measure, you got to even
35 centimeters. You got to measure. Yeah, you still got to measure those.
You think anybody's going to throw those back now? They're going to keep them. You're not allowed to keep anything big. They're going to keep those.
That's the slot now, though. Yeah, but I mean, you gotta. I'm talking about just consistency of measuring. How do they measure? And back to what Rick was asking. So he was asking you, like,
it's pretty hard to be consistent with just a tail being flat.
the government. I mean, yeah, they should go. I agree. They should go.
You got to make something, right? Yeah.
It's all these different levels that are coming out with these rules, and not one like. There's only a few people trained in it, the fishermen, right?
Have you ever seen the Manitoba Natural Resources make anything normal?
They normalized
normal.
not having weigh-in tournaments anymore. They're going to normalize that in a second. Yeah, Eric, for sure, man. You can discuss or not. Yeah, definitely. So this is like half of our show is freaking talking about tournaments. We have a competitive bent on here, so we definitely talk about it.
It's they're just turning everything into I think like SeaWorld now. You can go look at the fish, but you can't touch them.
Just look at them on live scale. That's it, man. Active target, whatever you have, man.
Yeah.
No more fishing. No lines in the water.
Remember how that fish tasted? Because you can't have it anymore.
Gabe always measures from the base of the shaft to the tip. That's the right way, bro. That's the right way. How about a crappie slot? Mouth open or not? Mouth closed every time, like for everything, man. I mean,
yeah,
it's way even more obvious on a crappie. Like if you have a crappie and you jack that jaw, it's even dumb. Oh, I got a 19.5-inch crappie here. Like it's even more obvious. I mean, you got to close it.
Manitoba record.
Yeah, for sure. Garther, buddy, how's it going? Oh, it's Leon. Oh, it's another Asian.
I'm not going to the fridge every 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're forcing out the white guy.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah, that's all right.
The sun will be out in no time, and you'll be tanned, Mike. So you'll be one of us.
But they
I'll
should
go into retirement. I'll just bitch.
They should definitely go to a bump board. I mean, shit, go buy these seals a bump
and a fully pinched tail.
And a fully pinched tail.
Much easier.
Why did well, ask Lee then. Why did the commercial guys? He's a commercial bait guy, but why would the commercial guys go by the fork part? That's probably to do with freshwater fish, probably. Freshwater Fish Corp.
I'm not sure.
No idea, man. But they'd make it a lot easier if they taught the COs just like you said, pinch tail, have a bump board with them when they know they're checking for fishing stuff, right? I mean, how hard is that? I
got into an argument with a guy when I was at Travel Man. In one of the videos, they go, "Oh yeah, it's 41-inch lake or pow, whatever," and he emailed everybody. Yeah, that fish is not 41 inches. He was measuring it with a pinched tail. It should be only to the fork, laid flat, and he was like adamant, man. He was so mad. Well, they didn't win any money from that thing or whatever. I don't know. It's just,
why are you mad?
What does it matter or whatever? He goes, "That's it. You don't know who I am. I'm getting you fired." And then the next week I was gone.
True to his word.
The next week I was gone. So, well, there you go. Then I didn't know who he was then, I guess, or whatever.
Wow. That's sad.
Oh, some people are so
terrible, man. Yeah.
Right into the whole thing or whatever, man.
Yeah, are we going to get into the way the world is now or what?
Walleye tournament on Pelican Lake. Posters and sign up going up very soon. Cool stuff, man. Yeah, man. Just send us the info. Anyone want to promote anything, man, send us the info over here and we'll do what we can, man, just to help get the word out to CDP Nation. Once again, CDP Nation, thanks for joining us. Winnipeg Jets, pow! I just need one more point in the next two games.
They're in.
Hopefully. Anyway, we're going to talk the commercial. What's that?
I was going to say, at the end of the day with the measuring for fish, it's kind of like golf, right? Like if you want to say a walleye's 32.5 and pump yourself up, like provide some pictures with it if you want, or that story is just one for you to keep telling and having that fish grow over the years. But at the end of the day, if you are registering it, I guess Unfish Manitoba will have the last word on it, right? So,
yeah. For Master Anglers, it's a pinch tail.
And Jeremy's golfed with me. He knows how good I am. So
you're one of the best, Leon, man. one of the best, bro.
Continue our conversation there with the commercial baits. We were, rumors were going out and we know 2027 phasing it out. We're talking live bait, so that's as in leeches and live minnows, phasing it out, and then it got fast tracked. It got sped up here in this last, seemingly out of left field. There, we didn't know. We're not.
I call it getting back doors.
Well, if we were saying before, if we're in such if it's such a detriment to the resource and the ecosystem, why don't they do it now? So I can see the reasoning. Yeah, well, let's get it done now. Then let's get these guys stopped. But they're not stopping it. Like people still had the option. So
they did sneakily, man. That's like
why. So I asked my question. Why is it sneakily? Like why? What's so sneaky about it?
Well,
they can do whatever the fuck they want. Man. What's so sneaky about it?
Well, we know they do whatever the fuck they want because they're just showing it.
So what's so sneaky about it, though? I'm asking you guys.
Well, I guess.
So what?
I guess what it is, it's the fact that everybody's expecting it in 2027. So now what they're trying to do is make it fast track it to end it tomorrow, right?
Which is what they wanted it 26 years ago. So
yeah, but I'd like to see the reasoning for what. But whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. So we'll see. Well, we'll get it here straight from the horse's mouth here. We got Lee Hastings. If you fish Lake Winnipeg, you fish anywhere in Manitoba, you probably used one of his minnows for sure that he personally caught on rod and reel himself. That's how he catches these things, man. It's a microfish.
The paper clip with a spool.
We'll bring him on. You're coming on, Lee, man. Here.
Right on. Right
Lee
on.
Hastings. Second time on the show. He's been here before. There's this fancy cabin over there.
Nice hoodie, man.
Yeah.
You on Long Lake? You're on Long Lake right now, right?
No, I'm just on the Red River.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
I see the guy look just like you today.
Oh yeah, it might have been a Princess Auto.
Yeah, maybe.
Go tip up fishing for minnows. How's Windstock? It's going to be good to go. It was flooding last year, I know.
Yeah, it was pretty bad last year. I don't think it'll be as crazy this year, but that's kind of where we're going to get at with the bait and why that kind of made an effect on things too here. So
cool. So give us a little background. Like there's always rumors and all kinds of stuff or whatever, but what actually went down? Because you were sort of leading the charge on trying to save this and fight the power kind of thing or whatever. So what happened?
Yeah, no, I definitely had some support on it too. There was a couple other bait dealers, like Reinhard Weeb was a huge one. Eric Evans that's on here, I mean, he did a big part too. And by just basically just keeping on it and trying to keep these guys, accountable for these actions and fought right till the end. And that's basically where we're at. So, they came out with this proposal a couple years ago there, and they said 2027 they're going to ban it. And there was obviously a big fight from the live bait guys, and when they came out with that Engage Manitoba, that whole thing. I mean, they said there was stakeholder organizations that supported this change, and the only people that didn't support it was the live bait harvesters. Well, I mean, the Manitoba Wildlife Federation, they never did an internal vote. I mean, there's a lot of members of their federation that would have went against this. And I think truly they never went to the public and they never took everybody's, points on this. They just rammed it through. And like before, it was kind of sneakily done. And this is kind of where we're at today. So what they did was they took, they offered all the bait dealers buyouts, and they took the last 3 years, which were COVID years, and they took your best year and they times it by 3, and that was your buyout. So, I mean, what they did this off of, guys, is commercial bait reports. So there was guys that you could just write a number. I mean, I could have said I trapped 1,000 gallons of bait. Probably would have never been questioned, but the taxpayer would have been paying that dollar to the bait harvesters. So, I mean, it was totally good. There was no financial statements ever taken into place on these buys. But everybody was kind of forced because, I mean, it was either you take the buyouts or you continue on for 4 years. And me and my dad talked about it a lot, and we said with everything going on, they could shut down live bait on Lake Winnipeg or up in Opening Park, and there goes half your business. It wasn't a tiny amount of money that they gave us, but it wasn't close to what they should have done. I mean, it was basically a year's wages.
So when did that offer come down?
That was just a few weeks ago. So they put out a registered letter. It was like we got it like March 7th, and they said on by 31st. You guys have to decide whether you want to try now or continue trapping for 4 years. So I mean that was a pretty big decision, and I mean that was kind of a slap in the face to a lot of us. I mean you got guys doing this for 30 years, and this is how it comes to an end. Just ram it through, and this is the fourth minister that we've dealt with on this subject. And I mean we had a meeting with Blaine Peterson. It was like, hey, we're gonna make a solution and make sure everything's good here. That was the first meeting. And Ralph Eichler, Scott Fielding, and then now this Greg Nesbitt. It just seems like he just wants to spend money, and he just I just don't understand how this could have went this far. And like Mike said, the reasoning behind it was just unbelievable. To blame the angler and say that they're taking water from one water body to another, in a minnow bucket or leeches. I mean, you could do that in frozen bait too. Yeah. It's not.
So when the rumblings went down, like that was March 7th. So it's true, when the rumblings started coming out, it was pretty accurate. This is not something that's been going on since like November or whatever. You guys just got this registered letter.
Right.
March 7th. And you had what until when? Till the end of the month to decide?
Yeah, we had right till the end of the month to decide, and we went back. We had some pretty heated conversations with guys at fisheries, and that
was based on what? You could just say whatever number.
Like I was on the bait reports for the end of the year. So I mean, there was guys, like I've even heard of guys saying, like, those bait receipt books. They would just put a number down that was greater, just so that they would get enough bait receipt books for the next. Yeah. So I mean, basically saying like, hey, there's just, we trapped 300 gallons at $200 $200 a gallon or whatever their wholesale price was, and now you're saying that they get $180,000 buyout. Like
I know a guy for sure that put in a phony number for sure.
Throw it through. All good.
There's a guy for sure I know for sure put a phony number in, man. I'll tell you right now.
I wish I did.
But it kind of blows my mind that as public, we should be able to see the reasoning or the numbers behind why they did it. Like the shit part is everything's behind fucking closed doors.
There's no transparency.
Oh, we have the numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you write it on the ass wipe your ass with it and flush it down the toilet? Like, where are they? Like, what's the reasoning?
Perfect point here, Mike. You know what? And I even went into the Freedom of Information and the Privacy Protection Act, and I requested information from Manitoba Conservation on their reasoning, and I have never got any of these, any papers at all on this yet. But the biggest thing I asked was, what were the survey results on Lake Winnipeg for the Manitoba Wildlife Federation and Conservation Survey results? Because I have in text messages from one of their AIS guys stating 75%, and I've talked to a lot of those guys on the lake when they were doing those surveys, and I asked them, I said, how many guys are you like? 75, 80%, no problem. I said, okay, well, how can they just not release this?
Yeah.
Like, should that be public information?
The results of Engage MB? It's there somewhere, I'm sure.
Not.
I'm sure it is, but I'm sure they doctored the shit out of it too.
Nesbitt's from Shoal Lake, I believe, Jason. If you're asking where Nesbitt's from, he's a Westman, somewhere there.
I think a comment there too, like Rick Klim said that -10 kills AIS, and frozen's not the problem. Well, there's a lot of studies in VHS, the fish disease, that doesn't freeze out. And I mean, if Ontario isn't allowing frozen bait to go over there, then why are we allowing it to come here? Like, where is that reasoning? Obviously, they had something there when they made that rule, and it's just fine to import all the bait. Like, we don't want any locally sourced bait. And I'm gonna get into it, guys. I'm gonna say that I've talked to Derek Craker on the phone in fisheries, and he said that they want to get rid of frozen bait too. That is coming.
As far as Area 5 in Ontario, that's a Chamber of Commerce decision to not allow our frozen minnows to go in there. It's about them selling their own kind of thing, right? So they made their own protectionist kind of policy or whatever. It's nothing to do with, well, I mean, like, you guys think government's all one whole homogenous entity, and they're not. They're all just individual agencies and departments and whatnot. So them saying that we don't bring our bait over there has nothing to do with us. Them, we can just retaliate, for example, but they don't. That makes no bearing on their decision making on this side there, Lee. But yeah, Derek Craker, that's cool. You got that insight on there. They just want to, so they want to take all organic bait away. Is that what was the exact words?
Well, that was it. He said that basically they wanted all bait, not just live bait. This is a thing that this is their agenda. They want to get rid of it all, unless they change their mind in the last 6 months here. Yeah. But I mean that. So
the full results were never on there on Engage MB. Like the full results weren't on there. They handpicked.
It didn't matter.
Well,
we could 100% of people said they wanted live bait, but it was whatever, Derek or whoever pushed this forward. I mean, he said it on the phone too that he brought this forward. So I mean, he's taking accountability for this. He brought this forward in the proposal. So
you can put in a FIPA request. There's paperwork involved, but yeah, you could put a FIPA request for anything really.
Yeah,
there's all kind of freedom of information.
I don't trust anything with the government. Nothing. Wow. They can do whatever the fuck they want, and we have to take it. That's the problem.
I don't understand
anything. This guy.
People, why? Like they're working for themselves. It's not even. It's like a feather in the hat. Like let's get rid of live bait. We've worked on it for this long, for the last 15 years, and by God, they go back and they go back on their word here and say, oh, we came up with new evidence saying that, oh, look, birds do transfer zebra mussels or all this stuff. It's like, no, we've worked on it for 15 years. We have so much money invested into going this agenda, and we're not going to change this. We're just gonna ram it through.
So they eat zebra mussels now? That's what they do.
And they've
always eaten mollusks, right? But what kind of bird is this?
The mallard duck, and it's taken out of Lake Winnipeg and Lebo Marsh.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, ducks eat a lot of zebra mussels, and they do shit them out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had a study that showed they took mallard ducks, they took common carp eggs, they fed them the common carp eggs in a lab environment, 2% hatched. So there's your total unwanted fish species argument is completely out the window. You got invasive species transfer from ducks. It's right there. I mean, if you tell me that's not evidence, then where's your reasoning? What I see now is just cutting down small business and basically Manitoba. That's basically all I can see.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, they knew this shit was happening way back when. Now they're putting the onus on anything to do with sport fishing. That's where it's going to.
Yeah.
So now they're cutting out the bait because, they're saying that's the cause. Well, let's look at what the real cause was. You guys freaking dragged your feet on this shit. You could have done something years and years ago, but you chose not to. Now it's too late.
Yeah.
So now they're coming after anybody that has anything to do with angling.
Right.
No, and if they think that something that we can do will stop the transfer of these things, like it's too late. And I keep saying, I go, nature will find a way. And look, it's showing right there. Right? Well, nature will win, man. There's not what can we do to stop this?
Look at the text here. Like I have it. It's like all on here. Sometimes we've had 50% of boaters drive by illegally. This is from their boat wash stations. Like 35 boats in a day. Mm-hmm. So that's not an issue, guys. But bait is. Yeah. How that is fair.
And that's only from noon till 3.
Right, exactly.
Because they're not there first thing in the morning and later at night.
And they're not counting on the weekends when there's more people out.
That's right.
Because they don't work on the weekends.
Yeah.
So we are taking the brunt of this. We've said that we've been beating this drum for 2 years. Or
right.
Recreational anglers are taking.
We're taking the beating.
Well,
yeah, I mean, we're doing our part. We're obeying regulations, and we're whatever regulations come down, we obey them or whatever, and we're supporting the ones that we agree with and stuff like that. But it's sure if we do our part, why isn't everyone else doing there? Because we're a very low percentage of what the problem, right? Like the problem they're trying to solve.
And again, we had Leon here. So we had Lee on here previously when we were talking about the original Engage Manitoba survey, and I know the numbers came out, but I'm sure there's a lot of anglers watching this and even out there who didn't even submit anything towards it, right? So that's the other part. Like I know I did my part on my end, and I'm sure everybody else did it here, but how many anglers are out there that didn't do it. Not that that's going to change anything, but we know every little bit helps. And if they really don't get that much engagement, as their thing says, right? It doesn't help.
Questions were open-ended, though. I mean, it's sort of skewed to get the answer you need,
Well,
kind of thing, you know?
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Or if you're not
I mean,
qualified.
and they're never going to promote the negative, right? The negative comments.
And speaking of negative, everybody says I'm always fucking negative.
Well, you are, but
I'm actually a realist. I'm a realist. But here's the problem. Like, the only thing I dislike that they do is they force shit upon us. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of good shit, but they also do a lot of crap that they just force us that we have to live by. Like, it's even if we got together, did what, I'm not saying nothing because next you know I'll be fucking getting hate mail. I can go set up a protest and fucking block all the roads off. And you know what? They're still going to do what they're going to do anyways. Mm. And just, I'm a shit disturber right away because I stood up for what I thought was right.
Right. And that's the days is nobody's doing that. And I seen this through the whole fight. I mean, it was like all of a sudden, hey, it's gone. And now I'm getting hundreds of calls and emails and texts and everything. And it's like, oh, what do we do now? It's like, you guys, like, said this.
Too late.
Go down.
But the thing is we're looking at the small, like, maybe we're looking at the small picture. You know, we're saying, okay, well, Lee's losing a, you know, an income for the rest of his life from what he was doing. But now we got to look at Lee Nolan. Okay, now he's got to switch gears. How much of his income is live bait?
Yeah, it's not even the live bait. It's the everything else, the attraction. It's like guys can go get a case of frozen shiners if you can in the coming years, right? I mean, obviously it's not going to be like tomorrow they ban them, but I mean, a guy can grab a case of frozen shiners, pack himself a lunch. He's gone to the lake, fills up at a, you know, whatever gas station. He doesn't go there at, you know, 5:36 in the morning and grab his minnows and then grab a lure, grab that Danny's whole hog, you know, Kubasaw ring, everything else in his store. I mean, it's like, yeah, you make an X amount on live bait and the profits, but you've lost all that store traffic, and that's where it's, and that's and that, it's gonna drop tourism. You're gonna see Lake Winnipeg is a hot spot for American tourism, and I've seen it this year. I sold more live bait than you would ever believe, and like I'm you know grateful. I thank you for live bait. I mean, the support was unbelievable this year, and I do thank everybody for that. But
retailers got nothing, eh? Eric Evans was saying here too. He's saying there's about 50 to 60 live bait retailers in the province here, and they didn't get offered nothing. How many harvesters are there? How many commercial bait harvesters are there?
I don't know. Is 10 to 12.
10 to 12. Do you know?
These guys are making the stores, like you said, 60 plus stores. And it was just like, you know, they all talked to all these people in fisheries, and it was like, oh, you know, we never really thought of you guys.
How many gave up the blocks?
As of I know, pretty much everybody but one guy. I believe like Bob Kira, I think they kept his license.
Manny says they're still
Manny's
trapping.
So he'll probably trap some leeches.
There's another guy too. What's his name? Darren Moff. He says he's still gonna, or Dave Moz.
Yeah, I think I believe so that he's trapping on Bob blocks. But I mean, it's the amount of the demand for live baits. Like one or two guys isn't even going to keep up with this, and this is another reason why we did take the buyout and we're out of this, is because we know how many trapped this year, and I mean with the high waters, you know, last spring we got a lot of yellow perch and some lakes that just killed it. I mean that's like a 5-year cycle by that time that thing comes back to a bait lake, and then we had, you know, the low water before that, which, you know, a winter killed a lot of these. Go trap 100 lakes in this region, and you're trying to, you know, keep sustainability year after year. And we, you know, I tested all these lakes this year, and I said, holy man, like I trapped a ton of bait here in all these lakes, and I know what it takes for them to replenish, and I just couldn't see it here in the next, you know, you might get one more year out of it, a decent year, but you're going to kind of run out halfway through, and then what's, you know, 2025 going to look like? It's not there. That's the exact same thing that's going to kind of with the frozen bait stuff, like the shiner harvesting. I mean, you're going to hammer the crap out of these forage fish, and ultimately it might deplete your fish stocks. I mean, it's It's the chain, right? Food chain that you're altering.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, Lee. You and I were talking about that today.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it sucks to be a fish that's 14 inches and less because you're going to get your ass kicked in about 2 years.
Right. And I mean, you mentioned about trying to bring Nathan Olson on here too. And I mean, he would say it too. He says, like, the shiners aren't just like, they're not just everywhere. And talked to Catherine Ward at Fisheries. And I asked her, I said, where do you think all these shiners are coming from? And you know what she said to me? She said, oh, there's lots in the stores, Lee. That's just it. That's it. That's all they think. They just go. It's like
no idea. Yeah.
Like we got to import, man. Like we're an import.
Mute my microphone.
We're an import for salted minnows, actually. So unfortunately, but I don't think that's a lack of suppliers. It could be something to do with stocks, maybe, but who knows? But Nathan Olson, good luck at your hockey game. Hopefully you won, bro. He's playing hockey right now, but he's not a live bait guy. He's a salted minnow guy, and he's going to do it till the end. He says, as long as he's allowed to. But as far as the live bait guys go, did you consider keeping on? Because, like, I mean, these guys, I'm thinking the guys sticking around, like you said, they won't be able to keep up with demand, so they're going to sell whatever they catch, and they're going to make off pretty good in the next 4 years. No,
for sure, and they're gonna. I mean, they're going to be able to supply and demand. They're going to be able to raise the crap out of the prices, which they should, because they never end out. They got to make that money back somehow, and that's. I mean, that's an individual choice, right? But I just can't see. From what I know in this, talking to everybody in this bait industry, and seeing the demand especially when you start getting into February, March, when the kind of swindling down, there's just no possible way that this province is going to keep up. Even importing bait, I don't know if there's going to be enough. Like, it's going to be down to plastics. Like, Eric, you like plastics? That's fine.
Plastics, bro.
Right.
Metal's good too. It's all good.
But
how well did you do have done this winter?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was catching without tipping the spoon anymore, and it was working. So I think that was probably the trick. It was too bulky with putting bait on. Probably.
But that's why you drop all your.
They'll start complaining that there's too many plastics in this fish's belly. So
yeah, they'll ban plastics next because they're going to be swallowing plastics. So
welcome to Sea World of Manitoba.
And that other thing too is, like, I'm wearing Chris Gaughan's sweater here, but I mean, he's got a big part in this too, and he even spoke up with it, and he said, like, this is going to hurt his business. Like, he's, like, when that February bite comes and it's like, next to impossible to keep your clients on fish consistently and be a tourism operator out there and rely on people catching fish, because they're not just going to go out there for a camping trip. Right. I mean, you might do that once or twice and then that's it, right? But I mean, if you're going to try to keep your reputation like Chris has, he's got an unbelievable reputation for putting people on a whack of fish, and the accommodations are unreal. And big part of that to keep those guys on fish. And without that gone, you're going to see everybody struggle. So it's not just the bait guy, the person selling it, it's the outfitter, even that goes out and says, I can't catch anything out here. And it's like, well, they're hitting live a little bit, but going out next.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to get the conversation going towards, like, what do you see taking place going into the next couple seasons? If you're talking strictly hard water anyway, or even open water, I guess, what do you foresee? I would imagine, I don't think I'm going on a limb saying that live bait is more of a hard water angle in this province anyway. No, I mean, in the open water, I mean, you got your leech guys, you got some guys who will drop them in, but whiteshell hasn't had live bait in a long time, kind of thing. And stuff. Yeah. No, do you see that with your sales? Did that reflect it or no?
So I mean, I believe Manny's, they sell a whack of leeches on number one there. I mean, where are those going? They're going into the whiteshell. So I mean, it's not like nobody uses live bait in the whiteshell. It's just you can't use live minnows. And back in the day when you could use, like, Walker's used to sell an insane amount of bait on number one. And I mean, they just shut that down. It's like,
so what do you foresee with the fishing going on down? You touched on outfitters having a hard time, or possibly having a hard time keeping guests on fish. Yeah. What do you guys see here as far as like, what do we see coming down the pipe here with this no live bait, basically, for all intents and purposes nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Every lake is different. I mean, I've been up north, moose guiding, and been in a virgin lake where it's like the thing gets fished once a year, and I mean, you could put cigarette butts on your line and you can catch fish. I mean, it's one of those things, and a lot of northern lakes are like that. I mean, you go into Nopeming Park, it is very tough, to catch fish. I mean, you can catch them on everything. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, we outfit on Gem Lake, and I mean, it's like I'm telling you, one on a salted minnow, and I mean, you can use anything in your tackle box, and it's 5-1. So I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to give our clients as good of a experience as they've had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ultimately, we may lose, some customers down the road because they want to have these 100 to 200 fish days. We might not see that.
Brady says, without a doubt, this is going to affect us outfitters down the line. Kingsland Outfitting. This year, live bait was key most of the time.
Yeah, and that's exactly. So, I mean, like you see, like I said, Lake Winnipeg, the water clarity's been getting better, and the mussels might be having to do something with that. But ultimately, the fish are getting more. Got a higher demand out there. You got more pressure on the fish, and a natural presentation is obviously going to catch more fish. There's no arguing, right? So,
how about you guys?
This trickle effect that will affect like hundreds and thousands of people. It's scary that it's probably like 2 or 3 people deciding some of these things, and honestly, they have no idea what they're yeah, and they have no idea what's going to go on.
Nothing. And
like,
I want to touch a little bit on unregulated trapping. So you're gonna have, and like this is insane how many calls I've had. Guys are like, "Oh, are you selling your minnow traps?" I'm like, "Yeah, come grab them." Like, I don't even care. These guys are gonna go out and trap their own minnows now. Yeah. I mean, I've even asked. I've been kind of sloughed off on this, but I've asked, like, our first, like, rights-based harvesters allowed to trap and transport live minnows, and nothing's kind of been said. So, I mean, it's one of those things. If you have it available to you, it's easier just to go spend the $6, $7, $8 a dozen and grab them. But now, if you don't have them, there's going to be people getting into minnow trapping like crazy, and you're going to have, in an invasive species standpoint, what their argument is, if you want to stop invasive species, you'd want to regulate an industry and make sure that you had guys that were trained to do it and not just spreading this stuff everywhere. But now you're going to have all these guys grabbing a minnow trap from Canadian Tire or Amazon or whatever, and you're going to see them, throwing minnow traps in every beaver pond across the province, and they're not going to kill them. And I mean, maybe they are allowed to do it. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to touch on that, but
you are allowed to trap your own. But they were saying you're supposed to fish them where you catch them.
You got to kill them before you transport them.
Or before you transport them, you kill them. And
so do you
not
think
killing them? Most, I mean, you're catching live minnows for a reason, right? So most won't kill them, kind of thing. So yeah, like Rick says, your unintended consequences and stuff. So
there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming down the pipe that they didn't expect.
Nope.
And that's what I'm trying to ask you guys. You're like, I mean, what do you guys see coming down?
Here's what's gonna
like in a guy could meet.
So what are they gonna have? They're gonna have, how many guys are gonna be left? 2, maybe 3 guys that are still gonna trap. So what's gonna happen? They're gonna slowly put a noose around their neck and squeeze them out before 2027, because that's the way they work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So what's going to end up happening is, like you said, people are going to start trapping their own minnows. It's going to be like a black market on live bait. And then shit is really going to go bad, because some guy's going to have an aquarium in his garage set up, and these things are going to sit in there, and they're going to get a disease in that aquarium, and then they're going to take them to another lake.
Or whatever, right? Let's go put it in the kid's goldfish tank, dunk it out. Oh, I got a goldfish. Throw it in there. All of a sudden, we got it, or whatever. Maybe they got an Asian carp from the pet store. Who knows, right? I mean, it's
just like Lee was saying, unregulated. It's going to be like sort of unregulated. I think that it's just going to invite more regulation and stuff. But yeah, for the time being, you're going to see. I mean, we were trapping minnows last year, me and Nash, and not that good at it, but we had. But you could just go buy some if you didn't get it. But now with like a little more necessity, if you want to use live bait, we're going to go catch something and really put your heart into it. Now you're going to get a whole pile of people. By the way, Lakefish Net and Twine over there in Century in Winnipeg sells those cool traps. And there's all kinds of people that sell traps, man. There's traps everywhere, man. You can.
It might be a good business to get into, selling minnow traps.
Well, there's thousands of guys that are going to need them now. So, I mean, it's for conservation. It's a little bit of egg on the face. I mean, I would say, like, It's what are you gonna do? Like, and who's accountable for that? I want to like touch base on that. Like, so everybody goes out there and buys a minnow trap, and all of a sudden the conservation officers are like, oh yeah, we found 200, 300 people trapping minnows this year. So who does it go back on? Like, who's ultimately held accountable for it? So it's like, oh, we're not allowed transferring the bait across, but you made this decision now that ultimately, it goes back and hurts you even more than what we had. So who's accountable for that? Like, is it they just whatever, they get their, work their 40 hours.
The person that's accountable will be retired.
Well, exactly. Retired.
Lakes have goldfish around, Quentin, man. Lakes have goldfish around already. Carp. You end up calling them carp, but they have like legit koi.
Have goldfish.
Yeah, there are goldfish out there.
Probably by 2030, there's going to be a new disease that's going to probably pop up because of this bullshit.
Right. Well,
even the existing ones. I mean, anglers move things around, but like back to my way earlier point is, if there's a problem out there, okay, fine. If this whole thing resolves on AIS, right? So if that's the problem, you got recreational anglers that are definitely part of it. You can't say that we're not all innocent. Obviously, we're part of it.
We're not all innocent.
So, but a part of that pie, we're overwhelmingly blamed and taking regulations up the ass for really part of a pie. And I don't know, this is all bro science now, but I'm telling you, if it's 8 slice pie, we've got 1 slice, maybe 2. You know what I mean?
Bucket, drop in the bucket, Eric. It's like
it's barely beyond 1 slice of that 8 slice pizza, guys. Like, so what happens to the other 7 slices? What the hell are they doing to I don't know.
I talked to a conservation officer and I asked him, I said, well, why aren't they going after these air services? And he said, wow, they don't really want to go after the air services and have that big fight. I said, well, so why are they going after the bait guys? So they won't go after a multi-million-dollar air services or whatever. But wait, have anti-fouling paint. But heaven forbid those floats leak or anything like that, or the ropes dangling in the water. But no, we're gonna go after the angler and we're gonna go after the bait guys. But we're not gonna fight that battle because they're gonna lawyer up and they have way more money.
That's what it is. We're not organized a lot on our end. I mean, that's one thing. We're not organized.
Well, and I think the other thing is they can just put different rules and regulations right into the regs books, and we have to abide by them, right? It's a lot easier for them to make up their bullshit print, throw it in paper, and say, "Here you go. This is our guest for this year."
And they're going to use AIS as a reason. And honestly, there's it's here already. Like Mike totally said earlier, it's way too late. And they're like you said, they're putting the weight on the wrong people.
And if they're that worried about it, they put a fucking station at number 1 where you come in, and I'm going to say it every time we talk about it. Yeah. And they can put it on 75 where they're coming up from the States or going back home. And they can put it at number 1 at the other end and actually put somebody there from fucking 6 in the morning till 7 at night.
Well, Chris was asking, like, some of the buyout money or all the buyout money could have been put towards stations. No? Exactly, wouldn't that be better? Yeah. People were still going to go make their money the next 4 years anyway. I mean, maybe this comes up next year or whatever, but why wouldn't? Yeah, it's just, what the hell? LeBeau looks hot for the backers. Thanks, bro.
Me, like, I don't own a boat, right?
Oh, I don't own a boat. Somebody's been drinking Bud Light here.
Shorts? Do you have a
no, but like, I don't own a boat, but I know how important this is to the industry, right? And like Mike said, and I said it before, I can't believe that these stations are unmanned and that they leave everything on us. And we joke about the black market minnows, and guess what it's going to be? I think I made the joke before. We're going to be meeting in the back lane, somewhere in Transcona, somewhere in Charleswood. And instead of drugs, we're going to be doing cases of frickin' minnows. And that's how it's going to be.
It's the new crack, man.
It's like, honestly, I should get my kid on it. I should get, hey, I got a new job for you. You're doing minnows now, man. Like, that's where the money is.
Running minnows. Holy shit.
Running
minnows.
Like,
you gotta see goldfish.
We'll get drivers. We'll do everything. We'll get the cabs involved, Uber guys, just making drop-offs and hoses. And that's what it's going to go to. And I'm not even drinking tonight, so
I can just see it, man. Oh, fuck, it's like...
that's how it's going to be, man. Like
Leon's new business, minnow runner.
There he is, man.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Half moon. Just give me a hot dog and some fries, and we'll call it even, okay?
Or you know what? Maybe they'll just do like they did with everything else. They'll wait till a later date, and then you have to buy it from the government. So bring it back. You have to buy live minerals from a government facility.
You have to go though first, and that includes working out in the.
Oh yeah, you got to work on weekends. They don't work on weekends. Never mind.
Okay, you're done.
Yeah, it's Easter Monday. Nobody would be working today for them. So that's how it is, man.
The COs weren't on the South Basin this year, right? I didn't.
We never seen them once.
No check stuff.
Oh, they were there. They were there.
They saw you. Yeah.
I never
didn't
saw
see
them.
me, but they were down there.
Kid fish.
Saw them at the
They came
Derby.
out
That's
to-
the one time I saw them.
Yeah, they came to Kids Fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
the
yeah,
Derby.
that's when Eric threw me under the bus at Kids Fish.
Oh, I called him over, man.
Here's
This is
the
the guy
guy.
talking shit about you, bro. Get over here. This
Out
is
to the
exact guy.
south.
I like what
Yeah.
Miguel was saying. Your minnow trap tournament coming soon. Oh yeah, let's weigh all these. Who got the best? I was gonna say you could. Go ahead, Lee. Go ahead.
Remember.
Every weekend all summer, child, we just want to get pat tennis, and I've only seen a boat watch. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, whatever.
You could lobby. I mean, you could lobby and stuff. Thing is, with 4 different ministers, you name them all. In the past, like 2 years, you gain momentum and anything, and then it just gets washed down the drain again.
Yeah.
But it's like one guy. These other guys want to sign off on this, and then all of a sudden you get one guy that's buddy politically connected, and all of a sudden it's just like sign it off and it's gone. Like I don't understand that.
Yeah.
With consultation, never one meeting. They just had the little meeting at the start. I think there was like 2 guys on it, like when they first bait proposal, and they basically said flat, "Oh yeah, we're banning live bait by 2020." And everyone's like, "No, you're not. Like, what the hell? This isn't going to happen." And it was like, "Oh yeah, so they know legally what they have to do to get to the end goal." And that's basically what they did. They just fast tracked it. They just rammed it through.
Mhm.
And someone's getting a feather in the hat at the end of the day and saying, "Hey, we banned live bait. Oh, good for you."
They tried in the 90s and 2000s. The difference back then was there was no AIS here yet. Isn't that weird? So now that it's in the province, it's already
It was here in the 90s.
It was here in the 90s.
It's too late. They're
It's
gonna do
heavy
it
in
now.
here now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
heavy in here now. There's always been smallmouth bass are invasive species. We're talking about now, like where you have like their hot button rusties and
Yeah.
spiny fleas and zebra mussels, of course. Now that it's here, they can scare it into legislation, right? They didn't have that before. So
But you have to
Yeah.
remember that
But they're targeting the
zebra
wrong thing, though.
mussels, they don't kick the living shit out of the ecosystem.
they
They
change
really
it.
don't.
They change it for
They do
sure.
change
They
it.
change it, but fish will learn to adapt, just like anything else. You learn to adapt. It's
Yeah.
kicking the shit out of the hydro dams. It's kicking the shit out of everybody's pumps. That's the big deal.
That's what they're worried about. Yeah.
That's what they're after.
Right? I
It
mean,
costs them a lot of money to fix all this shit. That's the issue. It's not changing the ecosystem. I don't give a shit what anybody says. The fish will learn to adapt.
right. I agree.
And at the end of the day, over off Broadway there's a bunch of people and they're talking about the boogeyman that's in the water. And it's a bunch of people with university degrees who, don't know much. They're all going on bro science like the rest of us, though they have degrees. But that's what it is. There's a boogeyman in the water, and it's because this A, B, C, D, and E do this, and let's get rid of it.
Leon,
Okay, we got to get rid of it, and that's what. I know it sounds stupid to say it that way, but that's what it's like. These people have no idea. These people have zero
I
idea
can
what's
use
going
this
on.
for an example. They said they did a study that my favorite fish, saugers, are going extinct. I don't know where the fuck they were
Where'd that
looking,
come from? Yeah.
but those little
Remember
pricks
that?
are not going extinct.
No.
They were just
Nope.
hiding behind the rocks when those guys are out between Monday and Friday.
Someone had a thesis paper, and a lot
Well,
of
that's
numbers are
exactly-
based on, like
that's
you
that guy
said,
in
bait
Alabama
receipts.
that wrote it.
They're based on bait receipts, for example, or
had to have it in by 7 a.m. on Monday.
Yeah.
And
right.
off the report, and it was like boom through, and then all of a sudden now our whole government looks at
He's probably our provincial biologist now.
If you wanna figure out where a good study, where the hell the white bass go?
Oh
Yes.
man, that's the.
We
that's
don't,
the-
and to get back to this registered letter, they sent it out at the beginning of March, and you have to have an answer by the end of March. We all know that working for the government, that all those people are burning holidays in that last month of the year. Like, to be honest, we know that. Like, well, the people who are involved in government at one time know that nobody's there. Nobody's going to answer the phone or it's going to go to voicemail, and that person will check it when they get back from spring break. And of course, they have it by March 31st, so they can put that on last year's budget, right? So it's not on the new budget, and
right,
it screws everybody. Like, and that's nobody wants to answer the phone, and nobody actually wants to deal with this except the people that are getting hurt. So.
I called the minister's office 6 times, okay? And it just, oh yeah, no, they're gonna call you back. It's we'll get one of the minister's staff to call you. And it was like, okay, on the 5th time, I told her, I was like, I'm a taxpayer. I pay your wages ultimately at the end of the day. And I'm not getting out of it by just getting the runaround here. Like, I want to talk to somebody and see what their thoughts are on it. And do you think they called me back? Do you really think they called anyone and they called anyone back on this? No.
Yeah, it's like that survey, man. That survey was absolute bullshit. They didn't care what the answers were. They didn't care what the responses were. Like we said before, they already knew what they wanted to do, and that thing was just wool over our eyes, and they're doing whatever they want now.
I believe that's a comment I made. They said I had a bad attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and it's
no,
right.
I think I'm a realist there.
Miguel says, "I bet the decisioners don't or have never fished." It is true, though. I mean, the one guy in charge does. But he does. But the biologists, you got to understand, like biologists, and then the politicians just take what the biologists say to do, and they take it with consideration. They do a little bit of how's this going to play out in public or whatever, but yeah, they just take what they say. And a biologist is going to say, for like, realistically,
don't fish.
Yeah, they're going to say don't fish. Period.
Leave fish alone,
because they don't want like having a fish having a hook in its mouth and getting pulled out of the water. And you're telling me people catch little fish to kill them just so people can use them for bait? It blows their mind. So like in the end, an actual biologist is going to be like, well, no, we don't. No, and they'll do. I mean, yeah, we're gonna whatever is going to do to prohibit that or limit it or whatever it is, pare it down. All good with it's true.
But this is the thing, Eric. Having due process with this whole thing, like having the minister sit in front of it.
Retired, bro.
Hey, here's the invasive species team. Here's the fisheries staff stating that this is the problem. Now you have, a perspective from us sitting there and saying, well, no, it's not going to have it. So now the guy in the middle, he's basically bipartisan. He's making the decision to sign off on this paper, but he never did that. No. So how is government? How are people supposed to, have ultimately respect at the end of the day for the government when they don't care about anyone? They're public servants. We're private citizens. They're supposed to be working for us, guys, not the other way around.
Yeah. Well, the government works for us. The biologists don't.
Yeah.
That's a problem, right?
Biologists work for the government.
We could have the politicians here. You just have to be loud enough and collective enough and be enough votes.
We try.
I would combat it. But if with that, like we're not organized. We don't have a society. Our licenses here. I mean, we could raise our licenses. It's $22 now with one license, but half of that doesn't go to anything fishing related. Half of that goes straight to general coffers. So, I mean, if we were more organized, those licenses raised to $40, $25 goes to a society. You know what I mean? We'd be way more organized as a lobby group kind of thing. And, we can head things off at the pass, but as it stands right now, we aren't, man. We're all just individuals here.
All I know is if you were to have a politician on here, I wouldn't be allowed on.
Okay. Be professional, bro. But you could debate, but you have to be professional, obviously. But
at it.
Don't want me to be professional about anything?
Anyway, we appreciate it. Was that Lee?
Don't we have an organization? Like, don't we have Manitoba Wildlife Federation? And that's kind of their play in this. It's the kind of people like we're supposed to take the members, right, and have a vote internally. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is what we're gonna do. This is what conservation wants to do. Let's hash it out and let's lobby against them or support them either which way.
Nothing against NWF. I love NWF, but that's not their.
So what's their point?
Because we sell 450,000 licenses a year in Manitoba. That's non-resident, resident, you name it. That's what's sold. If you were buying licenses and your money goes straight to society, those 450,000 are automatically in. You're part of that society. That doesn't exist for NWF is different, man. You got to choose to member up, and like we're not. I'll tell you right now, out of 5 of us, who's members of NWF right now?
Yeah,
crickets. That's what I mean. Meanwhile, we all have angling license, right? So
Yeah,
it's not the same, brother, man. Like, I mean, their mandate is something like this, but it's not. That's not a strong enough lobby group on our end, and
So
especially angling either.
So at the end of the day, shouldn't they be? Well, then you got a good point there. Shouldn't they be asking? Putting a survey out and asking, like, do you want to get rid of live when you majority rules? You're buying the angling, and ultimately people want to take the risk with the fishery. Either way, there's evidence on both sides, right? They're saying, okay, our stance on it. This is your stance on it. Let's ask the fishermen. Shouldn't that be the way it should go about? It's, kids, their kids that are going to be benefiting from all these lakes in the coming years.
You'd think.
I mean, that make a difference or not?
Yeah. No.
But they also based this a lot on some kind of diseases they were getting, right? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, VHS. Well, it's like unwanted fish species, VHS, and aquatic invasive species. So, I mean, like I said, the unwanted fish species is completely out of the. It's completely out. I mean, we grade our minnows.
Yeah.
We hand grade them all. So I mean, it's like you're not gonna have any unwanted fish species in there. It's only bait fish going to the store, unless the guy put something in there from his own minnow traps. Then maybe you might have something in your bag of minnows, but that was added on after. I mean, and then your VHS. It's like, okay, we know you could possibly have it in frozen bait as well. So there goes their argument on only live bait. And AIS. Well, where are you transferring the AIS from? We're trapping pristine lakes. We're bringing them back. We're putting them in salted water to give the minnows electrolytes, kill off anything that's actually in there. If it was like a spiny water flea, doesn't need much salt to kill it. Same thing with a zebra mussel, anything. There wouldn't be anything in those lakes anyways to begin with, guys. But it's gone through so many hands by the time it hits the angler out on the lake. There's no risk. And now if he takes that water and he goes to another water body, that's not a bait issue. That's water transfer. That's completely different. I can jump from one lake to another and do the exact same thing with water transfer, overland flooding, airplanes. I mean, the water in the bird's feathers, the swim trunks that, your little niece or nephew had that went to another lake with them soaked. I mean, there's so many water bombers. Like we can just go on and on about water transfer, but they don't want to go after anything there. It's the bait guys. We got to show the public that we're doing something, and this is going to be in the spotlight right now, and we're getting rid of it.
If we were organized, you could do stuff before April. What the April happened already. That's in paper. It's law now.
Yeah.
There ain't no backtracking that. Now, I mean, a year ago, to be honest, you really could have. If you want to be like more organized, and you have to really be organized. I knew you were doing stuff, man. I've been doing stuff on the tournament side too, but we're not fully organized, and we've got day jobs and families too to the freaking crusade fucking with pitchforks to get this done.
Some of us have day jobs.
Some of us anyway. Maybe Leon should have spearheaded the whole thing. But it could have been done, but it would have been before. Yeah. They were feeling the heat too. They were feeling the heat a while back, and then you just lose momentum, and ignore everybody for a while, and then all of a sudden, oh, by the way, it's at the legislature now. It's stamped, and
and here's another thing. Like, we're talking live bait, and these people, there are people who go out fishing once or twice a year, and you know what? They go to their store A, store B, store C to buy their stuff. And what do you think, the dad and Johnny are going to do when they go, can I buy some live minnows? No. Well, when did this happen? Like, they have no idea either, right?
Here's a bag of plastics.
The American.
What's your favorite color, kid? Here you go.
You'll probably
Eric likes this because now he's going to sell more plastics.
Yeah, you'll probably catch more of the plastics anyway.
More plastics, more crankbaits.
Yeah.
And see, oddly enough, like I know that, like, if I go to Lake of the Woods, if I'm fishing for what I'm fishing, I'll use plastics. Like, it's bizarre, but for some reason I'm stuck in that Manitoba. I got to use salted or live, right?
On the other spectrum, now that that's going to be gone, you're really going to have to learn how to fish with artificial baits. Because if I sit in the boat with Eric and we're pitching at the same spot, he's got like 9 to my 1. I gotta throw a fucking minnow.
You gotta learn now, eh?
And then I gotta cut his line a couple of times.
We can't go to McDonald's and get a plastic straw, but we're gonna promote putting them on our hooks and losing.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. There's that whole other. It's
crazy world we live in, man.
It goes on and on and goes on, and there's, we'll be experiencing the repercussions for years down to go, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah. What is the opposition government's stance? They don't have a stance on it or nothing, bro. We're just not loud enough.
It's not a big enough issue for them to
It's not enough to be a platform where, hey, this is where we got these motherfuckers. We got them now on this. It's just
it's not.
But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because anybody that has, I mean, yeah, everybody thinks it's small. Like we talked about this earlier. Everybody thinks it's a small deal with just taking out the bait, but it's the trickle effect that's going to be the shit end of it, right?
Right, and that's ultimately what they had to do more research on. Is and if they would have consulted with everybody, like I said, Lee Nolden, I think he's on here too, and it's going to be one of those things where people are going to come next year. All these Americans are going to come up and say, I want 20 dozen live minnows, and he's going to have to be the guy that tells them, hey, no, we don't have any live minnows, and was getting rid of it. And then those guys are going to turn around and they're going to say, okay, whatever, I'm going to go grab a thing of salted or whatever. And all they're going to be doing is complaining about it. Because these guys, it doesn't matter if it works or it doesn't, guys. These guys are diehard live bait guys. They're going to be complaining all day with their buddies in that tent saying, oh, we would have caught that fish if we would have had live bait. And they're basically going to get to the point where they're going to pack up, go home, and then their other buddy's going to call them and say, hey, do you guys want to go back to Selkirk and stay there? And they're going to say, no, we didn't catch anything, and there's no live minnows up there. Yeah. So it's either you go bring your own, which there's going to be minnows coming across the border. I bet at that border you're going to see minnows coming across like great.
That's a big number there. 20,000 dozen live minnows.
There you go.
Poof. I mean, they'll still be selling some because there's still a couple suppliers, but that's going the way of the dodo soon here.
It's going to be like non-existent, but you're going to go there. Demand, like you're not even going to see them in the tank. They're going to be gone before they even get there.
I'll be curious to see, like, that's what I'd like to see. I don't know why, but Northwest Ontario and Saskatchewan and get residual tourism and whatnot and dollars flowing that way and sort of see, and maybe that's
I'm putting in my 30 dozen live minnow order now for next winter. Lee. Nolan, I'm asking. Save me 30 dozen for next winter.
Just preserve it.
Mike, you can't have those minnows for more than 3 days. That's going to prevent invasive species transfer.
Oh, man.
I'll just, yeah. I know. That's like, I think Ontario, if you live in Ontario, you can have those fuckers for the whole year. If you're from Manitoba, you're only allowed to have them for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you got to have your receipt. So, I mean,
you got to have your receipt. And then it's crazy.
An idea popped in my head. Oh, man.
Leon's got a corner of the black
market. This is the black market minnows. Yeah, just have the water truck filled with minnows. Oh, you need water? Here we go.
Leon's all over this black market stuff here. He's all over this.
Hey, Leon, before the show's over, there'll be like freaking cops at your door.
Why is it? You're in blue lights doing outside.
We gotta thank Lee Hastings, man, for being on. You appreciate you, man. And no judging on whether you took it or didn't take it or whatnot. And we appreciate you being.
You had to do what's best for you, man.
What's best for you and your family. Yeah.
You were cornered into it. It's like I'm not gonna walk away with nothing in my pocket, right?
Right.
I got a lot of money invested, and I've shown growth every year. And like I finally had a business that was, being fairly successful, and I know it had a big part of the anglers, starting to use live bait more. And it was. I mean, ultimately, if they're using more live bait, well, there's something going on out there on Lake Winnipeg or all these other lakes where, they're relying on live bait. So it obviously works. We know it works. And I mean, at the end of the day, we got to move on.
Well,
anyone, I guess I'll send my resume to them.
Well, we need you to hand out more money here. Brother. We need, you got to pick $100 winner. This is the March Beasts of the Week, brought to you by Team Fu Automotive. You got Dave Tucker, Max Guest from Alberta, Courtney Demaray, I believe, and Brad Miller, the ship disturber. One of these people are getting $100, and it's all on Mr. Lee Hastings.
I'm gonna go with that Laker. I'll go with Max Guest there.
Oh, Max Guest. We're gonna count that as Mac Mulligan's tip because that's probably what she's gonna say. Just give it to Mac because he guided me to it. fantastic Baker's Narrows Lodge. That is the March Beast of the Month, brought to you by Team Fui Automotive. $100. Get your weekly entries in. Put it on Doc Talk, where we keep the discussion going on Facebook. Send it on Instagram or message us. It's all good. We got the Beast of the Week here. We'll have to do them next week. We're going to double up here, I think. Or should we do it now? We got
might as well do it now. What's the difference?
bro.
Yeah.
Let's do it now.
Wouldn't be the first time that we haven't gone into overtime.
Nathan Olsen's daughter here, Rosie, 36-inch Northern Pike on Cedar.
That's awesome,
Beauty.
man.
Are you guys still fishing, by the way? I gave up on the ice fishing already. Anyone still fishing?
Nope.
Not me, no.
I want to, but
This is Kelsey Bell. I used to work at the mill, so you may recognize her there. Our good buddy Barry Dawson took her out here. She wanted a master. She got a 30, which is even better. So there you go, man. Nice work, Kelsey Bell.
her video to that's pretty good. She's pretty emotional during it, and it was nice.
Nice. Congrats, Kelsey. Good job. Blake Morgan, a couple more remnant greenbacks here. Has anyone been fishing for greenbacks?
I haven't been out, so.
No.
But you can hit the lake.
You can hit the
I
lake.
saw a couple of reports. Some people caught them and then said quickly put them back, right?
I guess.
They were targeting them.
Can of worms. We don't even need.
Next week we get into that. Not the biggest James Pearson, but this is a cool silver pike. Now look at that. That's
cool color, man.
That's pretty neat, yeah.
It's a pike for sure. I was showing it to Nash, and Nash was adamant. That's a musky, Dad. There's no spots. And I go, well, it's really small spots, bro. It's a different kind.
Yeah.
Lots of
we were arguing
pixels.
about it. Yeah. Nice work. Elena, former champion several times with
Look at the belly on that thing, man.
This is a perch.
Fat fish.
Yeah.
What is a master perch? 12? 13?
I don't know.
13.
13.
The 13? Really?
By the way, I got a video about that Shoal Lake. West Shoal. West Shoal was taken. I got live footage from Shoal Lake, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's live footage from Shoal Lake this last weekend or whatever, bro. Yeah.
Nice.
That's was. And then we've got Brady Kingsland, 44.25. Lake W Gator there.
Look at that. Giant,
Beauty.
Man. Oh,
you can
That
do
was
that
a
right now.
blizzard they caught those in, man. I saw that video, Daniel pulling that one up from outside.
If he wins $100, he needs to go buy some sunscreen.
Tucker's upset.
Dawson Bay was Tucker's like, what the fuck? I lost or whatever. He was the one with the swordfish there, brother. Logan Monroe, 4.1 pound largie. Nice. Well done, brother. Nice. Oh, he's got the real life Mike Cap there too. Well done.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And we've got Derek Ross. Don't put those rods away just yet. Westland Parkland trout. Look at that bow. Beauty.
Nice.
Beauty. You were always able to go for these in April and stuff. It's just cool that you can go for pike now and perch and stuff. So that's Beast of the Month. And we won't put Lee on the spotlight again to do it, but his vote counts here. Who's our qualifier for April 10?
I think I'll go Brady Kingsland with that 44.
Big pike. Mike Tatoli.
44.25. I'll go with Brady.
I can go with Logan Pro with a largemouth.
With the largie through the ice, 4.12 pounds. Nice. Our bass up here, our largies anyway, are like short and stocky, but they're heavy. Yeah. Santos got that 5-pounder, and I think it was only like 19 inches, but it was 5.
Short, man, but heavy.
Anyway, Santos.
I got to go with Lee, man. Kingsland's big pike, man.
Pow, 2 there. Kind of real Cuba Jet.
Oh, geez,
Don't worry, you can suck
come
like.
on.
I like that pike. I like that pike. James Reedon's boy there.
Silver pike. Oh, okay.
Silver pike.
Okay, where? Eric Lavopa.
Mike, takeaway is control.
The price is right. It landed on Brady Kingsland with a 44.25 pike.
That is a beautiful fish, though.
Beast of the week of the month, brought to you by Team Fui Automotive. Thank you, man. Yeah, awesome stuff, man. Jesse Bell, I went up today, 2 to 3 inches of water. Nice, we were done after today. It's gone. It's gonna melt with plus 12 and overnight warm temperatures. Yeah. Bring on the boats. We didn't get to our lithium batteries on the boat. We'll talk about that next week. The ins and outs of that. We never got to it there, so we'll talk about that next week. Lithium batteries and open water. getting your stuff out of storage. Mike has chipmunks in his camper.
Oh.
Don't worry, they won't be there for fucking long.
How big's that perimeter going to be? No squirrels.
I'm giving him the lead notice. Hey, but before we go, we just want to say good luck to Jamie Bruce and the rest of the Canadians this weekend.
Bassmaster Open this weekend on Toledo Bend.
This weekend, man.
Tune into
luck,
that.
boys.
So,
You got there's still live bait then. There's still live bait coming up from some people or whatever if you can get them.
but I think it's going to be like the gas. It's going to go up.
Way up.
I wonder what that's going to be a
Tax on
dozen.
that too now.
$60.
I wonder what the market will handle on that.
Hopefully Costco gets into the bait game, then we'll be good to go.
Okay, Lee, brother, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Lee.
Leon,
Thanks.
Mike Short Fuse, Jeremy Sand. He never had to go to the washroom once on this show. Awesome stuff.
He's sitting on a bucket right now. White bucket. White bucket, man.
Oh, Jets, go. Let's go. Hopefully they're in the
Yeah.
playoffs by the time we see you guys next week. 8:15. Check us out.
And Calgary's losing.
Have a great night, everybody.
Peace.
Good night.